Hello, Tutero community. My name's Jack Grover. I'm a secondary maths teacher in Adelaide, South Australia at Brighton Secondary School. And I'm making this video just to show you some of the ways that I've used Tutero over the last few months with my classes. Here I'm in my current year 9 class. There's a year 11 essentials class because some of that content does sort of overlap in South Australia. So that's why that's there. But we can easily sort of change year levels and stuff like that in this setting here. As you can see, I've got a few year 10 classes at our site as well, year 8 and year 7, and that sort of thing. But these are sort of my classes that are aligned to the year 9 content. So these options will tell you which year you want to focus on in the AC, and then you can create classes within those year levels from this little tab here. But once you've done that, which is really, really intuitive, I've found, we can sort of get into assigning and creating some different lesson plans. So the one that I did want to go through, firstly, I'm just going to go to resources. So this will be the resources tab for my year 9 maths class. And it'll bring up some of the lessons that I've created already. So we can see here I've done a measurement one. I've sort of been playing around with this a bit and sort of having a look at the various updates and that sort of thing. So there will be quite a few lessons planned, but I haven't necessarily taught all of them, but I've definitely taught a few. The one that I did want to focus on, because I am about to sort of teach the statistics topic for year 9, I was actually going to go through and show you how I would create a new resource. So these are the ones that I've created already. As you can see, you just click on the tabs there and it'll bring up the lessons that we've created already. If you sort of get through teaching that, you can change these to the various options. So whether you're in the middle of teaching, you can change that little dot so that it signifies that you are currently teaching it, that you've sort of given it a pause, maybe you're halfway through and you need to stop for some reason, or whether it's completed. But I'm going to show you how I would create a new resource. So I'm going to create a lesson, and it'll bring up this screen here. So it'll choose a strand from the Year 9 Australian curriculum. You can sort of choose the VCE or New South Wales curriculum. South Australia are a bit behind, surprise, surprise. Our South Australian curriculum's coming next year or the year after. So we're still aligned to the AC. I'm going to go to the statistics tab, and I'm going to have a look at measures of spread. All right. Now, this is a way to sort of chop up. So however many lessons you're going to teach it for, our sort of week is broken into 2-hour-long lessons and 1 90-minute lesson. So that's what I'm going to do. It might take me a little bit longer or a little bit shorter, but that's sort of generally what I do. And you can change that once you're actually in the lesson as well, so you can edit it and that sort of thing. This is something I really like as well because it's got some, like required knowledge, prerequisite knowledge to actually sort of access some of the core stuff that we're going to be teaching. So you can either tick that box to include calculating the mean in the lesson plan that's going to create for you, or you can leave it blank to not include. And I'm also going to obviously tick the calculating range. That's something that we need to do, obviously, if we're going to be looking at spread of data. Okay, and it'll give you the option to pick like a theme, I guess, for the lesson plan. I'm a bit of a space nerd, so I'm going to choose deep space. Ask you whether you want a warm-up question and or a thought sparker. I'm just going to go with the warm-up questions at the moment. We're at my particular site, we're very big on do nows and getting kids started quickly at the start of a lesson. So I like the way that do nows work with my particular teaching style. This one I've sort of been playing around with. I do love the exit tickets, but I also really love the contemplative questions that it's been coming up with. And it's a bit of a sort of low risk way for some of the students to think about what they've actually sort of done in the lesson and the learning outcomes for that particular lesson. And then obviously it gives you a lesson plan name, so you can do that however you want. And then you click the generate lesson plan. And the program will get to work adding various images. Now, some of you probably know, but some of you might not. There's been quite a significant update at the start of this week, I think it was, where they've sort of added lots of bits and pieces that I think are really positive into this. I'm going to go through a few of those as this is sort of coming up, but one of the major ones that I've found, which will sort of come up first as we sort of move through this, its ability to actually edit these slides that it comes up with. So, we can change particular wording if we don't like that. There are, obviously, there's these little applets in there as well. This is the prerequisite stuff. So this is about finding the mean that's been added into there as well. And if you don't want particular slides or you've changed your mind, as I said before, you can go to that lesson plan and you can actually delete or move or add a different slide and that sort of thing. It's completely editable, and you can adapt it to your particular teaching style or the time that you've got available, which is, as a teacher, we really want that sort of ability to adapt particular tasks to our students and how they best learn and how we best teach as well. So these are the warm-up questions that it's created. Now, I do a very, before I even use this, I actually did my do now, or my warm-up questions as they call them, in a very similar format. I do one that sort of they should be able to do, one that some will be able to do, and one that even the top-ended kids might sort of struggle with a little bit. I do sort of think I might make these ones a little bit harder depending on my class and depending on the ability of my sort of higher-end kids. And that's what we can do with this edit questions with AI. So this is something they actually added in. And you can edit particular questions. So if I wanted to, let's say, edit the hot question, the middle one, I can regenerate it, make it longer. You guys can all read, but there's lots of different options there for you. So I'm actually just going to maybe simplify this one, and it'll sort of regenerate that question in the background, and it'll come up with a new question, all right, which is really handy. And also, and I can't remember whether this was in the previous, before the update, but I love the fact that you can actually open the whiteboard for each one of these particular questions. And I'm not heaps good at South Australian, heaps good at writing on these mouse pads and things like that. But there is the ability to write on these if you want. So if you've got like a touch screen or whatever, or you've got a stylus, you can do that as well, which is really, really handy if you're going through the answers to those particular questions. If that's not something you're using in your teacher style and you want to go straight to the answers, that's fine. You can reveal individual answers or you can reveal all answers at once. Okay, so again, lots of adaptability. These application slides are tied to a particular theme. So we've got how measures of spread help us understand deep space. So there's a few sort of applications of that and how they might use that within that particular theme. Now, worked example slides, again, we spoke about the applet. That's that one I showed before. So there's these little applets that you can use. They're powered by GeoGebra, I think, a lot of the time. Well, that one's a bit of a different one, but yeah, there's lots of really handy little sort of things that you can use to help students visualize what they're actually calculating and how this actually might work in more of a real world scenario. So they've got that extra bit of authenticity to them. What does this actually mean? So this is like your explanation of how you might explain that to students, and rather than sort of us creating a whole heap of slides and that sort of stuff, we can just edit these if we want to add more detail, less detail, change the actual focus of these slides. Another big bonus that I don't think was in the previous update, but the editability of these slides is something that I think is going to be really helpful. Then we get into the worked examples. Pretty straightforward. I'm not sort of going to go through all these. We'll go to the class practice, and there's these slides are worked out in that that classic I do, we do, you do sort of learning framework of mathematics, which in middle school I think is really, really effective. Obviously, that forms a really good basis to help students with fluency and that sort of thing, so they can access that deeper learning, that interdisciplinary stuff, if that's what your school's doing. But more and more I find that students really do need that extra help with their fluency so they can access that higher learning, and that's what I think that this platform does really, really well. gives teachers the opportunity to really drill down into that fluency and make sure that students are doing that really well. With these class practice questions, so these would be the we do's. We can add different questions if we want. We can add another one. So we can do 2 as a class. And then we get into the student practice. And again, different, they're split up into those 3 categories. You can add questions from particular categories of different question types as well. So you can sort of sort through those and add the particular question that you think is going to fit best into that mild sort of area. Same sort of thing with the hot and the spicy as well. You've got the ability to add questions to those particular sections, which you can add, another 3, 4, 5 if you want for each of those sections. So that's really, and then the exit tickets down here in the contemplative questions are sort of set up within that time frame, that end of that sort of 60-minute lesson. I think I told it at the start. So yeah, that's sort of roughly, obviously there's the next lesson on range and that sort of thing down here, but it follows that similar sort of pattern. Then we've got the student sheet. So if you're someone whose students really respond well to worksheets and some more traditional learning in that sort of way, there's the student worksheets, and again they're customizable. You can include those contemplative questions, warm-up questions, etc. Some more. So if you want to, let's say your student's going to work from a PDF, you wouldn't necessarily need that working out space. They'd sort of have the PDF on their device, and they'd sort of be writing in their book. So you may or may not need your working space, etc., etc. I'm just going to click all of those just so we can get through here, and it'll generate that worksheet for you based on the content in that particular lesson. And what I also like as well is that it's got that sort of difficulty of the question. So if you've got a really high-flying student, you might say to them, for someone like you probably don't need to be doing the mild questions. You can just do the hot and the spicy, or something like that. But that'll sort of print out like that. You can download that PDF. You can recreate it. It'll give you a whole different set of numbers and that sort of thing at a similar difficulty level. And then if you're a school who's big on documentation and who isn't these days, we can generate documentation for that particular lesson as well with these sort of options inbuilt there. And yeah, you can obviously add all of those things that we had in the worksheet there as well, whether you want it as a table or a list, and that'll all create it for you. So those are just a few of the ways that I've sort of used it. There's obviously some more stuff in the background. There's the assessments. There's some sort of whole year scope and sequence documentation and that sort of thing that you can do for particular year levels. But the lesson plan and the slide creator is something that I've used as a really easy way to create those lesson starters and some basic questions for my students to get their teeth into those topics. Thanks for watching if you're still watching, and happy to answer any questions or anything that you might have. Thanks, guys.